that is goes through a cylindrical pattern of digitalized data of same events. That's why World War I, World War II, World War III are all the same. It has different looking characters, but it's all basically the same digitalized data. Okay, so that's why they'll always say there's nothing new under the sun. The clones are real. Now, first of all, when they cloned Tyrone, I told you, I personally think that wasn't a clone. I personally think that that was a cyborg. Okay, with Clone Tyrone, the clones were reminiscent of the guys who were all replications, all the light-skinned guys with the afros. Those to me that were running the whole cloning center underneath the ground in Clone Tyrone, those to me were the clones. The ones that were encased in those, you know, those tall tubes, personally, I think that that was like a Westworld version. Those were cyborgs. This is what I personally think. That's why he wasn't able to, because clones would know things. Clones still have a biological imperative. They still live with a feeling and eating, even if it's a lesser graded degree. They still feel and eat and do all that stuff. Whereas cyborgs are just basically like walking, talking robots, okay, with some biological skin. That's, if you ever watch Terminator, it's the whole concept. Like, remember he dug his eye out when he got shot, and then, you know, basically you could see his whole cyborg eye. Okay, so those are totally different. In Clone Tyrone, that was Cap. And what's crazy is that most people thought those were clones. No, they were clones in it, but the clones were the light-skinned guys that all looked alike. The actual cyborgs with the cyborg skin, those were actually robotoids. That's why he didn't notice his mother wasn't in the room. A clone would have noticed that his mother never came out of the room. A clone would have noticed little idiosyncrasies because they still have a biological imperative, whereas a cyborg doesn't. It has a program that it follows, and that's about it. Okay, so that being said, there are now, because we are going to reset, and the pole shift, pre-pole shift, all the program is happening with World War III. Now, let me explain something, y'all. I'm actually going to break down. I need to write, you know what? I need to make a survival kit for y'all during this time to understand and understand that this isn't real. This is a simulation, and majority of people around you, and you may even be a part of the simulation. I don't know. Okay, I could be. You don't know. So really, in itself, we kind of broke down that, you know, when they say the whole thing with 144,000 souls, I personally think it's only 144 in this motherfreaker. But that's here, there, nowhere. I don't think there's a lot of people here. I don't think there's a lot of encapsulated souls in here. I think we are walking around with a lot of simulated people, NPCs, empty seaters, you know, basically simulated people. And then we're walking around with a lot of cyborgs. And then we got others like using bodies as jump seats. We got jump seat people. Like jump seats are people who just have there's a biological body that has organic movement and everything. And beings come from outside of the firmament, and they basically pay, I don't know what they do. They go into jumpsuit bodies, okay, jump seat bodies, where they can go in, get buck wild, drop it like it's hot, you know, drink, smoke, do weed, do coke, all that stuff, and then they jump back out. So you have jump seat bodies here, where people just come from the outside to engage in the carnal perversions that we have in this simulation. Okay, so that being said, right now the end of the program is happening. There isn't a lot of data, so you're going to see a lot of glitches. Okay, then you're going to be playing out the end time simulation, because this is this purposeful simulation is the Earth simulation. So you're going to go through the whole rapture thing, all these kind of, you know, simulated, you know, it's like a video game. This is Earth simulation video game. So you're going to have the whole end time frequency kind of end time program playing out. The religious war, the holy war, you know, everybody believes that everything. Let me explain something, y'all. One thing that I will tell you, and this is my recommendation for you. Okay, you shouldn't take any sides, because when you take a side, you get karma. Okay, I personally, this is how I feel during this whole end time thing. I love who I love. So I have my homegirl who's living in Israel. I love her and her family. That's it. I don't support nothing they do over there. I don't have nothing to do with the government. If you got something to do with the government, that's on you. But like I said, as far as voting, supporting a government, supporting things that people do, I won't take on that karma. But I love my girlfriend. I love her family. That's who I support. When any Palestinians, I love the people I know that I love, and I love them and their families. That's all I support. I don't support any governmental systems. I am a political atheist, just like I'm a simulation atheist. I don't have any legs. I don't have any feet in this race. Okay? And if you want to stay out of it, you need to stop all that protesting and all that stuff. First of all, when you support one side, you support what goes along with the shenanigans of what they do to the other side. And if you support the other side, you're going to go along with karmic debt that goes along with the other side. So if one side is going around killing people, killing children, killing people, and you support that political system, then you're going to take on the karmic debt with that. Same with the other side. Mind your business. Unless you live there, you know that life, you're about that life, it shouldn't be your business. And if you're going to support a system, why would you support something only because it's generated on social media? How come you didn't support the Palestinians before this happened? How come you didn't support, because really in itself, how come Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Egypt were denying entry of these poor Palestinians before? So if it wasn't about a social economic BS, how come those beautiful, rich, wealthy Arab nations weren't taking these poor, innocent Palestinians before and letting them in? Because it's all cap. Do you understand? It's all a setup. Support, love people, be empathetic, and give empathy to anyone who's innocent, who is experiencing really a lot of strife. But remember, anything that happens, if these are people that are real, they gonna come back in the same situation of the same things that they're doing to the other side. Mind your business, unless that's your house. Because I don't see anybody going over Haiti talking about why the U.S. is in there and they got a whole freaking, they have a whole embassy robbing, stealing gold over in Haiti, displacing people, killed, murdered their whole prime minister with a whole mercenary crew that was American and Colombian. I don't see y'all going and protesting for the Haitians or the destabilization of the Haitians that they're doing over there. How come you didn't do that? Where's your protest for them? Because that happened before this, right? How come you're not going over to the Congo talking about why they're doing genocide to the people over there? How come you're not doing that? Oh, because maybe they're not the complexion of protection? I'm just saying, so if you're about that life, how come you only do it when it's being generated on social media? That's why I say a lot of people are suffering under social engineering, Stockholm syndrome. They only support that which is being promoted to them. I love children and families. You understand? So I don't need to be engaged in anything. And first of all, I don't even live over there. It's not my business. How do I even know that's real? The people who live there, that's the people who have a stake in this. That's who's engaging in this. So this is a simulation, y'all. Be careful what you support and what you're trying to put your foot into, because what you may do is add a bit of karmic residue or a simulation residue that comes over to you and yours. Unless you bowdy, you should support everything, because you'll only see people support people who look a certain way. Okay? Because you didn't say nothing when they were sterilizing the Ethiopians. Nobody said anything about that, right? When our homegirl on Zoom was telling us what they were doing to Ethiopian women, you didn't support that. How come you didn't protest for that? And please don't believe BLM is real. BLM, what's that other group? BLM, Antifa. Those are all governmental setup systems. You know that, right? They're all fake. The actual creators of BLM were all hung and killed. And then some lesbian women took over, dropping it like it's hot, having parties with the money from BLM. And now I don't even know who's running BLM. Well, stop. You know, if you want to, that's cool. But just don't get mad PSYOPs, thank you. Don't get mad when you start getting residue overcoming to you, because now you are progenerating a karmic residue that's going to come to you. If you want to support Israel, Palestine, Africa, whatever you want to support, if you want to support it, go ahead. But just know what's going to come to you, because you're going to be bringing it. That's why you won't see me support the holographic president, the one who put his hand on the satanic Babel, that didn't have an inauguration, why wouldn't I vote? Because if you vote for one, then you may take the residue on whatever that being does, because they aren't doing everything in front of you. They do things behind your back. Okay, so if you want to support people, absolutely. And if you are from anywhere in those regions, you have more of a say of what goes over there, and absolutely you should, if that's what you deem to be. But I'm over here, I support families, women, mothers, and children that are innocent. And also, I also understand that if you're engaging or experiencing these things, you have accrued the kind of frequency that needs you to engage or to experience these things. There aren't any victims here. So if you're living in a world of tyranny, that's why I told you, I explained to you before, big up to Ali Bey, I was on a show years ago, I explained before, all these men that were being shot, all these brown men being shot like dogs on the street, these brown men, you don't know that probably they were the same racist lunars in an incarnation. So the lunars who are nasty bastards get reincarnated in Negro hoods, and they get hunted by the very beings that they used to be. So be careful taking a position, because you don't know what someone accrued karmically in another incarnation. This is a simulation, y'all. It's all an energy thing. It's all about the frequencies. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell you to check the mic. Always check the mic. Basically, do a check around you. If you're existing in a comfortable world where people are supportive and loving around you, that speaks volumes of who you are internally, because it's all an energetic thing. In a simulation, you progenerate your entire environment. So whatever you are, you basically basically are projecting that on the outside. Okay? So if you are a really kind person, you really live well with integrity, you are doing things that are in honor of your ancestors, your family, your children, your husband, yourself, your mother, if you're living in alignment, everything around you should show up cohesive. If you have any pushback or anything that's challenging, you have to work on self. Remember we talked about this? When you check the mic? Remember I said, if my hair is messy, right? If my hair is messy, do I fix this? Do I fix the screen with my image, the mirror? Or do I fix my hair and then my hair shows up fixed on my reflection? So you're not going to fix something outside of yourself and expect it to fix you. You fix you. You work on you. You deal with you, because everything is, if you accept that this is a simulation, everything is a projection of who and what you are, and you are projecting your whole reality. So if you're having pushback, you having people doing grimy things to you, you got to really check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay? Do some reflective work. Remember Michael Jackson said, I'm looking for the man in the mirror. I can't sing, y'all. I'm seeing if he changed his ways. Remember? And no message can be any clearer. Because if you want to make a change, you got to look at yourself and make the change. Right? Okay. Remember that? So you got to do that. So right now we're in reset, y'all. I know I can't sing, y'all. There's certain things I can't do. Okay. All right. So if you're struggling with anything right now, it's reset time. I mean, it's the finals. I mean, if you didn't get it now, you just going to be recycled in the triple loop. Okay. You're going to come back in a simulation at the beginning. And I don't think it's going to be simulation Earth. It'll probably be simulation Mars, where it's like warlike. Because if you don't get it now and you just a warlike being, you're going to come back in another simulated reality where you're going to go through the loop 110 years 3 times, and you're going to have to learn it that way. Okay. This is a simulation. The simulation is ending. The data is very limited. The NPCs are leaving, so they're replacing people with cyborgs. So you don't know that there's empty space, right? And because you are existing in that way and your world is about to phase out, everything, all that you've known, anything that had any reminiscent, anything that gives you like feelings of nostalgia will leave, because they need you to reset. They got to reset your mind too, because in order for you to go back into the other world, you're going to have to forget everything that was here. When the other reset happens, if you survive, which I don't know who will and who won't, because the pole shift is something else. If you aren't extracted and wake up in your pod, and you go through the actual pole shift, which is going to be traumatic, horrific, just traumatizing. It's meant to wake people up. You will then go into the new world, and they aren't going to have. That's why you're seeing hieroglyphs on all of the pyramids, all the Mayan temples, because they do that. They need pictorials because they change your language. And then you got a rogue group of like satanic, like dark Kabbalists that hijack the system. So they know they got to go hiding under the ground during this reset time because they got their own fresh bodies, they clone bodies, they make their own bioborgs, and they wait until after the whole pole shift, and then they resurface and they kind of progenerate the world that they want. And they're going to choose different languages. They're going to create a whole nother language. They're gonna create different languages that aren't reminiscent of languages that we remember. So you're actually lost again. So you're actually suffering from a form of amnesia. Amnesia. So you won't remember anything. So it's important for you, if you want to keep some records here after reset, if you want to dig them in a hole and just put pictures on it, that's the only thing that they'll remember. Most of the language will be pictorial because that's the only way that our brain will pick it up. Okay, if it's language, they're going to make up their own form of languages next reset. Okay, so right now, big up to everybody who's in the house. Thank you for joining me on this conversation. Please put a handy dandy link in the video if you like this conversation and you like coming in the room and we enjoy this. So now the NPCs are the reset is upon us, the pole shift. So the fake holy war, there's nothing holy about the war, y'all. These bastards will make anything up, okay? They set everything up. Everything's a lie. It's all made up. It's the same person at the top. It's the Knight Templars. It's the Moors. It's the Jesuits. It's all the same. The Zionists. They're all the same. It's not even a lot of them either, because it's not a lot of them are living. They're working with the AI system, so they've learned how to manipulate and create the results of agendas that they want at this time. Okay, they get off. That's why they're sick. They've been here too many times. They're like vampires. They're like lifetime loopers. So they get off when people get hurt, children getting hurt, and they feed off of that loosh. You know what I mean? So, the children, protect your children too, y'all. We need to protect all of our children. If you love your children right now, you shouldn't have them on social media like that. You should be careful about the people around them, because they're basically collecting bodies for food and storing them below, because they're going to be under the ground for a while. So just be careful with your children. Talk to your young ladies. Talk about the necessities of them watching themselves, making sure they aren't having sex with bioborgs, because they can really, their wands can literally deactivate their wombs. So if you have sex with a bioborg, his wand is activated to deactivate your womb. Okay, so wands matter. Real wands matter. He'll put that sucker in there like a plug and he'll deactivate your womb. So then you start not getting your period. You start having all kinds of issues down there. What real wands matter? Sea stars. Okay? Check the wand. I would check it put a metal detector on that sucker. I'm sorry. Wait, take the children out of here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. Listen, y'all. Where's my water? I apologize. Please put a like on the video. Listen, my sense of humor is very different. Okay, I apologize. I go left, and I just keep it real. You gonna get the real from me, okay? I could edit my videos like 90% of people. I could do a whole makeup tutorial, a hair tutorial, but I prefer to just keep it real, okay? And please, for you, listen, I gotta just comment on that, because I'm petty. I'm a little petty because I like to engage. I love when people poke a little bit, because it just gives me a chance to talk about things that I won't get a chance to talk about. I'm just gonna sidebar for a minute. For anyone talking about me not being a non-native, where do you come from? Like, it's amazing to me that $5 Indians, people whose families came here and colonized the country will base who don't even look native, have like 0.00000 point of native indigenous blood in them. That's why they're not thick. Big up to Alex who mentioned that. Like, you don't realize a lot of natives, because our endocrine system has been attacked, most native people bulk up because we're fed like GMO foods. We're not eating the same food. There's people coming on here talking about you're not native. Who are you? First of all, you're not even from the Americas. How you gonna call me not native? And my peoples has been here since the Americas were created. This is crazy to me. You $5 Indians are getting a little reckless out here. You don't want me to bring the archives, right? Because remember, I'm over 65% pure native indigenous Carib, right? With a nice little dash of Taino. How dare you? It's like a joke. Like you walk around not even looking native. What about you as native? That's why the indigenous don't even come to you in spirit. That's why the ancestors underneath the ground don't even contact you. That's why you can't walk into the other side, because you aren't native. You are the colonizers that paid for the nationality, and then you think that the natives don't recognize that. That's why you can't recognize me, because you're not from the neighborhood. You from another neighborhood. Stop it already. Don't come on my channel talking about you indigenous, because if you're indigenous, you would already know who I am and where I come from. The fact that you can't even recognize another indigenous lets me know you're not from here. Cut it out already. Still, go to another channel where they pretend like they're native. You know what I'm saying? They pretend like they're native and then they go to church every Sunday. Go to their channel. You know what I'm saying? When they walk around calling themselves Blue Owl and looking like nothing like an owl, looking nothing like the indigenous. Stop it already. I'm a little petty. I'm just sick and tired of you fake $5 Indians coming over here capping. Okay? You can get away with that with people who aren't native, but when you come to a native woman, remember, all tribes recognize me. My whole life. Every nation recognizes who I am. Do they recognize you, or did you have to pay? Or are you one of the hijackers who stay head of the tribes to make sure that you control and do everything? And also, I'm sick of you $5 Indians, because you're the ones paying for the natives to leave the country. You're the ones setting them up. That's why everybody's an alcoholic on the whole reservation. They're alcoholics, they're drug addicts, they're suffering from mental illness because of you. Stop it. You need to come for somebody else, okay? Don't play with me. Because remember, I know what I'm in and what kind of simulation. You don't want to poke the bear too much, okay? Because I know this is a simulation, and because I know it's a simulation, I can work with the simulation. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.